Hi everyone, this is my discussion post for discussion number 4, empathy. I really enjoyed this topic. It's a topic that I've actually researched and learned about in 2 prior classes. And then also it's something that I've been taught in my educational courses during my undergrad. And it's actually the topic that I'm going to write for our term paper this semester. So I really enjoyed reading about empathy, and it's something that I feel like is very important to your role as a leader, your role in your organization, and also just your role in being a human. I feel like empathy is something that you can implement in your personal and professional life. So starting off, what I want to talk about first is what empathy is and what empathy is not. Pretty much, just reading across the resources that we were provided in this module, empathy is simply being able to understand, recognize, identify with someone else's feelings, emotions, and kind of seeing from their perspective while maintaining your own perspective too, not losing yourself, but just putting yourself in someone else's shoes and relating with that person. I feel like it is a make or break concept when you are in a leading role, because people want to be treated as people. They don't want to be treated as robots. They don't want to be treated like, oh, I'm only here for work. That's all I matter to you. They want to be treated as a person. And across the board in all of our resources that we read this week, it said, you simply can build empathy by simply listening to people and talking to people. And it's a key to building rapport with other people that you work with. And rapport is something that I use a lot in my own professional field as a teacher, because with my students and also with my coworkers, I want to seem like a relatable person. I want to come off like I care about who you are, what you're going through, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And with that, because I show empathy to my students and to my coworkers, as well as my admin, they are more receptive to who I am as a person, and we have a relationship. And I feel like organizations thrive off of relationships, and that goes back to being to showing empathy, showing that I care about you, I care about what you're going through. I may not can fix whatever you're going through, but I'm here to listen, and you will be heard. And I feel like something that what empathy is not, it's not saying, oh yeah, you're feeling sad today, but by the way, did you meet that deadline? Or it's not just hearing a person, but it's listening to that person and really reassuring that person that you hear them, and that you understand, or you're doing your best to understand them, and not just blowing off what they're experiencing. Ways to build empathy, that's the next thing I want to talk about, because not everybody is a naturally empathetic person. A lot of people, and I didn't realize it, because I tend to think that I'm a very genuine, warm, heartfelt person, and I'm thinking like, how can you not have feelings? But honestly, there's a lot of people who struggle in this area. And just because you struggle in this area doesn't mean you can't grow in this area. And so I'm really glad that the book and then these other journal articles offered people strategies to help to build empathy, and so that they can be more effective as a leader, and when it comes to relating with their followers and simply listening to people. And one thing that I have learned over time, that there's a difference between hearing and listening. When you listen to someone, you are really being intentional about the conversation, and you're being intentional about what the other person is saying, and you're responding to them, you're affirming them. You're not so much trying to fix what's going on. You may have a solution, but you're letting that person know that in this moment, I care about what you're going through. In this moment, I'm putting aside what we're dealing with or what we have to do on our to-do list, and I'm listening to you and who you are as a person. And I feel like that builds a relationship, because like I said, you're not treating this person as just your worker. You're not treating this person just as your team partner, or just as someone who's going to help you accomplish a task. You're treating this person as a person. And I think we all can agree on that we want to be treated like individuals and like people, and that let you know that I have real issues going on. I have other things going on outside of my work and professional life. And I think that also when you show empathy to someone, it just helps to build that strong, not bold, that strong bond in your organization, and that you are able to work closer with someone and build trust, and just you more than likely you're more willing to work with that person or please that person or accomplish the task at hand. And so just being listened to and knowing that somebody is actually putting aside work related stuff and just hearing you out as a person, that is one major way. And then also to just talk to people, simply taking the time out to get to know someone and who they are outside of the workplace. This has been major in both whenever I was in undergrad and also as I started my professional career. There have been just a handful of people that were my leaders at the time who really built strong relationships with me as not just a student, but just who Jasmine was outside of the student role, or who Jasmine was outside of the teacher role. They, took time to ask, how are you doing? How is this hobby going? Or, I know you were having some issues last week. How's that going? How's your personal life? Not so much getting into my business, but just taking interest in who I was. And we built such strong relationships outside of our professional roles that I feel like these people are important to me, and they know who Jasmine is, and they care about me. And I feel like I was just more willing to put more effort into my job as a student and my job as a teacher, because I felt heard, I felt listened to, I felt like I was seen. And I feel like when you just simply talk to people and just outside of whatever role you're currently you're holding, that talking and getting to know someone genuinely shows empathy, and it just builds strong relationships in your organization. So as a leader, talk to your followers, talk to the people you work with, talk to the people who are under you, and just get to know them, because outside of that role, they are a person with real lives, real families, real hobbies, real interests, and they will be I truly believe that people will be more open to you and respect you and will be willing to build a relationship with you when you simply talk to them and get to know who they are. So ways to break empathy: simply doing the opposite, brushing people off, not caring about what they have going on, not seeing them as a person, but simply just saying, okay, you're here to work, we have this deadline, I really don't, yes, you may be going, you have this going on, but leave all that at the door. And I just feel like sometimes that's not appropriate, because like I said, at the end of the day, outside of that role, that person is a real person with real issues, real lives outside of that. And if you tend to blow that off all the time, you're going to create that wall, and people aren't going to feel comfortable to coming to you as a leader when something's going on. They're going to be afraid, they're going to be intimidated. And that's one thing you don't want to be as a leader, is to be intimidating to your followers. So you want to show them that yes, you are a leader. Yes, there is, that line of, I'm leading you. We do have this, and this to accomplish. However, I do understand life happens. You do have a life outside of this professional role. And those are ways to break it, by simply just not showing your interest and care into a person, who they are, what they have going on, what they have interest in, and simply just a working relationship. I think you just have to, empathy is just huge into making your organization successful and just building rapport and relationships with your followers. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about empathy this week. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer them and share even more about this topic. All right, thank you.